So I inadvertently got called hot the other day. Not the other day, a few weeks ago actually, but I didn't know about it until the other day. So, you know, as far as like how far out this is, I know, right? So I was on a dating app called Hinge. I am, because fat people need love too. That's just who we are.
Hold on. So is your bio a complete promotion of Pint Party?
It is now, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't at the time. It wasn't at the time, right? Because like I'm not very good at talking about myself. I know it's hard to believe. And but somebody else's dating profile said that they did a podcast, and I was like, "Yo, there's a talking point there, sweet, right?" And so
you're good with your mouth. I'm good with my mouth too,
right? And so I was like, "Hey, you know," so on their one they said, "Hey, suss my podcast," and it was like they provided an Instagram link. So I looked at their podcast, and they had a Spotify link. And I was like, yo, that's dope, you know, because I like Spotify. That's where I like to listen to my podcasts. And then on their Spotify list, though, they had, you know, it was a very recent podcast. They only had a few episodes up. And at this point, I didn't know that you could get a podcast on Spotify with so few episodes because, like, the word around the water cooler, so to speak, the metaphysical water cooler was you had to have a set number of episodes.
Yeah, because I thought it was 20.
Exactly.
We were told it was 20.
We were told it was 20, and we were working towards it. We were working hard. We were busy little bees, right? And this person had less than 20 episodes, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, I need to know your secrets. Like, please share with me this wisdom that you have somehow gained, right? Which magical rock did you find this wisdom under? And they just say to me, oh, you know, like I just submitted it through my podcast hosting platform, like whatever they use, which is not what we use. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And then they did a little bit of Googling and were like, oh, hey, you can just submit a podcast link through this link. Like Spotify now does it now. It's like, oh my God, this is awesome, right? Cool. And that's how we got on Spotify. And that was really cool. And then like, because it is a dating app, I was like, okay, so I tried to converse a little more and then got ghosted. And I was like, well, that's okay. That's the end of that one. Like, you know.
Standard practice.
Yeah. Like,
can't win them all.
Can't win them all.
That sounds better than most ghostings because out of that, you actually got something that helps.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why I wasn't mad at all. Like, I wouldn't have been mad even if I didn't get anything out of it. But I was like, it like softened the blow a lot, right? It was like a big, thick mat. It was pretty good. So that happens. And then a few weeks go by and like I was looking for a podcast to listen to and I remembered that podcast was on Spotify and I saw it was in my, hey, why don't you listen to this?
I'm seeing where this is going.
And I was like, okay, cool. And so the episode, I was looking through the names of the episodes and the episode descriptions and one of them was, we tried all of these dating apps and I went, wait a minute. That episode went up not long after I had that conversation with this lady.
Here we go.
And inside, I immediately
died?
Okay, I died. I did. I died a little bit.
Did you not fangirl just a little bit, going like, "Oh my God, should you talk about me?"
No, that's what I'm saying. It was the opposite of fangirling. I kind of died, and I wanted to like hide under a rock and be a hermit, right? And like just oh my God, I felt awful because I was like, oh my God, what have I said?
Did you listen to it, John?
You bet your ass I listened to it.
Yeah, because
that was the
morbid curiosity.
That was episode 1 that I listened. That was the very first episode I listened to, right? Even though it was like a few episodes in. Usually I like to start from the beginning, right? And I've listened to it. I listened to it all the way through, and they talked about all the different dating apps. And, you know, they're like, oh, you know, Tinder is awful, right? Oh, and this is blah, 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 blah. And all of these, and had some examples of like, you know, some kind of gross dudes, right? And then they get to Hinge, and I was like, oh God, here we go. Oh God, it's going to happen. Oh God, this is going to be so
I
bad.
matched with this absolute neckbeard.
Right, I was like, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then they said all the dudes on Hinge were hot. We're just so hot. And I was like...
So you got a collective...
He got thrown in a collective.
I got thrown into a collective. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't skew the median towards Uggo. And I was like, oh, okay.
I'm in
all right, what photos were you using?
Done, John.
What photos were you using?
All right. Oh, you want to... Okay, I'll tell you... All right.
Continue with the story, but I just want to assess the photos.
I'm going to bring it up.
Great content for an audio medium, David.
I just want to see them personally.
While John is doing this, I must say, it's weird because I have also copped weird compliments in the past couple of weeks. The weirdest one I got was, oh my God, you look like a hot Dustin from Stranger Things. But luckily,
now I had to Google Dustin.
How much is that? Oh my God.
I've got teeth, ladies.
It's uncanny.
I think because I've known you for a while, like a few years, I'd never put two and two together. But
you are pretty hot, John.
I know, right? until like I saw Stranger Things a little bit later on. After it came out, but once I saw Dustin pop on screen, I'm like, here come the jokes. I can feel them. And then it was a slow burn because people would forget about Dustin when Stranger Things was in production, and then the next season would come out, and then the Dustin jokes would come out again. Oh my god! But like only recently have I gotten the hot Dustin.
Well, that's all right.
So now it's swung a little bit for this one. So I feel you, John.
Yeah.
God, that's fucking hilarious.
But like, how do you feel? Because have they really introduced the use of boomerang? Boomerang's really popular still on dating apps. I'm off them. So
am I.
No, boomerangs. Well, I don't know about all dating apps because like I used Tinder for like 5 minutes. I used Bumble once because I was studying social media, and part of like the teacher was like,
Bumble's trash.
Like people.
Bumble's trash from our perspective.
I know a lot of girls from work that use Bumble.
Yeah.
Like a lot of girls.
Here's the thing, right?
They love it.
I've heard a lot of girls say they don't like Bumble because the messages expire. Right, so
That's what I hate about Bumble.
You've got to be on Bumble like every single day. You've got to put the work in. You know what I mean? And it's like, mate, some days you're not feeling it. Like some days you're just not in the mood.
You lose them if you don't.
Is it
24 hours.
Is it still the case where they have to message you first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the brilliant gimmick
that's
of
what the girls
Bumble.
like about it.
Yeah. Like I get it from their perspective, but from like mine, it's just.
Oh yeah, because you'd match right, and then
I
you'd just
can't
be sitting there.
Bothered with the swap. Like I've got rid of them with dating apps. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Oh, I'm done with that aspect of social media.
I'll
But
die happy and single. Fuck it. I'm at that point of just like
as long as we kick our goals, man.
Exactly.
All right.
I really couldn't give a fuck. It's such a fucking.
We're building something here.
Yeah, I know.
Ricki, we'll focus on that.
No, that's exactly it. I really couldn't give two stuffs about fucking like dating apps. It's such a fucking minefield of bullshit, and I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to because like I've spent this year like improving myself. Right,
You're looking great, John.
Thank
I love
you.
your haircut.
Loving the haircut.
Yeah, I got a haircut. I quit smoking. Right, I've been like,
I should probably do that.
I've been
You've dropped a
eating
fair few
less.
kegs too.
I've dropped some kilos. Like I can actually fit into the lecture theatre seats now. That's amazing. That's a big improvement for me. Right, yeah. And with that, welcome to Pint Party, a podcast designed to turn a beer and a chat into a tax write-off. I'm your host, John McLeish, and joining me this week is the trio of gimmicks. David Yang, Ricki Needs, and Lachlan Beasley. Welcome, boys.
What up, boys?
Yeet.
All right, so
You're the oldest one in this room, and you just hit yeet.
And then dabbed.
and then he dabbed. Right.
Maybe this is why I'm single.
I'm gonna say dabbing's coming back because the Hulk dabbed. And if the Hulk can dab, right, then anybody can.
You do realise the joke in that is 5 years had passed and he still thought it was the thing to do.
Bro,
because
5 years
he is
have
the
passed and
ultimate.
people are still playing Fortnite.
He's
Like I
the
feel like
ultimate
culture
dad.
collectively stopped.
Well, I mean, if half the population disappeared, I think culture would pretty much stop. Like, imagine if it was just all the creative people that got fucking snapped, and then it's just all the fucking like, the drones that like work 9 to 5 jobs got left, and they're just like, well, we can't make video games or media or come up with cool new things to do with our hands.
Thanos should have defined his parameters better. Like half of the entire universe it's rather broad.
Bro, that'd
Like-
be a trip though. I just realized because like you was like all the creative people. Well, that's me. Boom. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm getting dusted.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing,
Everyone
right?
in this room is gone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what
Except for Locke.
what I'm saying is right. Is obviously Hulk then snaps and brings everybody back.
What happened?
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what you like. At a moment you go, oh, I've got a little bit of indigestion, and then suddenly you wake up in a field somewhere and you go, what the fuck? That's a pretty weird bit of
True.
indigestion there, mate. I thought I just had a dodgy kebab, but fuck me. What's going
For
on
them,
here?
it was instant, wasn't it? It was
instant.
like they're gone, they rested for about 5 seconds, and then they're back, and no time had passed for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no time. That's what I
Fucking
mean.
love that
Like it'd
aspect
be a
of the film.
fucking trip for them
Yeah.
people. But here's the thing. I saw right, Dave. You and I were big fans of Ask Reddit. Right, we've talked about this. Somebody brought up brought up a thing. If you were on a plane when this happened, right, and let's say you didn't get dusted, but the pilots did, and of course the plane goes down, right, and everybody dies because it's so awful, right? When Hulk snaps his fingers again, did the people on that plane also come back?
Okay, hold on. No, so
Ooh.
upon the snap, at that moment
At
in
that
time,
moment, yep.
the pilot. You're saying the pilot dipped.
Both pilots.
So both pilots
So
dipped,
there's
and
no
plane
pilots on-
had crashed.
Plane had crashed. Everybody.
The pilots would come back.
So the
but
pilots would
whether
come
the
back.
so this is the problem with time travel, right? Because now we're going to get into a bit of science. when you do time travel, a lot of people, they factor in, the time. So like obviously like 1980, I'm going to go back in time.
I know where you're going
Yeah.
with this.
What they don't
know
factor
exactly
in
where you're
is
going
that
with
the
So
Earth.
What's the worst version of time travel?
No. What the Earth does, the Earth moves in a constant linear movement as long with time. So at every frame, the Earth is in a different spot in the universe.
Yes.
So true time travel factors out that movement, but like in order to get it right, and in order with like this snap for per se, if they were to snap back, they would snap back in the air, right, and
Will
then
it snap
fall.
back into space?
Or space, rather, actually, right,
It'd be
because
in
the Earth
motion.
and universe has moved.
Yeah.
So if you were to do time travel, you got to factor in like the fourth and fifth dimensions outside of time, space, and like with like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You got to factor in. All right, at what point in the time of that universe was the Earth sitting right there? And if you're going to go forward in time, you need to predict where the Earth is going to be in the universe then. Not just when in the time you want to go, but where the universe is going to be.
And this is where you've got to. This is where, like, for most time travel movies, I would agree with you. But with respect to Marvel, Marvel takes care of that by saying, well, that would be what the space and reality stones are taking care of.
Yeah, which fair. Like
that's
they've
just
in
continuity.
That's their job, right? It's like
Sponge,
those two are
that
going to
is.
be dealing with that while the time stone's dealing with the time, right? And it's sort of like, I don't know what the fuck the soul stone's doing. Maybe they're dealing with the people. They keep the running tally.
So Marvel's fine. Marvel's
So
fine.
Marvel sorted that.
Also,
yeah.
the way that they deal with it is because they tackle time travel from a micro perspective, not a macro perspective.
yeah.
Like to get smaller and smaller. The
You talking about the quantum realm?
like the margin for error becomes a lot smaller too.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
you are essentially just disappearing into this realm that is traveling with Earth as it goes back and forward.
But because
Yeah, no, I mean, like, they
because your
factored
mass is
that out.
smaller,
Yeah.
obviously the movement is going to be
Yeah.
I
more.
hadn't thought about. I was only thinking about Thanos' gauntlet, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, like the time traveling suits. How would that factor? You're right, and that's Ricky's nailed it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that like at all.
Because if you think of like
Yeah.
macro time travel, you're
Yes.
like the Earth, you're just blipping from one point and blipping to another.
Yeah.
Whereas they were like traveling through a different like quantum realm to get to point A to point
Because
B.
the
You have to
timeline
calculate
is
stellar
stretched
truth.
at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
the closest movie it didn't do time travel, but it did the aspect of Earth's movement and universe movement, obviously to an extremely micro level, but it illustrated it was Jumper. When with Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah.
That
It's
it's
Samuel
so micro,
Jackson.
and it didn't do time travel, but what it did, it illustrated the
God.
fact that if he jumped somewhere, because it was so quick, even the Earth still moves, even in that quick split second, he needed to factor in where he was going to land in the future. Right, so if he wanted to jump to the top of the pyramid, he had to be like, all right, not only am I jumping to the top of the pyramid, I need to jump a little bit further ahead because the Earth moves. Right, that was where his superpower had that limitation.
Yeah.
Right, but it didn't do time travel. But that's the only movie I can think of that illustrates that aspect of time travel
I would
that
argue
everyone
that-
forgets about.
Okay, I'm gonna posit a crazy theory here about Jumper. I would argue that it does factor in time travel because of what you said, right? So the Earth still moves. We know that jumpers move instantaneously. Now, the fastest speed anybody can travel is the speed of light, which for us would appear instantaneous.
Yep.
Right. So if he's not actually moving instantaneously, he's not quantum tunneling. He's just moving at the speed of light between two locations. Then once you approach that speed, time gets timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly is probably the best way to describe it. Right? Basically, Einstein says when you go that fast, shit gets fucked.
Yeah.
Right? And so at that point, you do have to factor in, relativity and time travel. You do actually time travel. You move slightly. I think you go forward in time.
You go
Right.
forward, but
jump
your
forward in
physical body maintains the time,
You
which
do-
is always something time travel gets wrong. Like if you want
Everything else around you just goes slower.
yeah, everything
Yeah.
else around you has progressed a second, but
Yep.
you have not. Your body clock has not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, which is like.
Right. And now we're talking, even in Jumper, we're talking insignificant amounts.
Yeah,
of
it's
time
almost
travel.
insignificant in that amount
It's
of time
almost
they're
ins-
doing.
but it's enough that you have to factor in distance because that's how GPS works.
Yeah.
GPS technically time travels, right? It has to factor in relativity when it's sending its time code from up in the upper atmosphere down to Earth because it's moving so fast that it is experiencing relativity. So yeah, that's what I mean. So the Jumper would have to have that problem. But let's not talk about old movies. Let's talk about new movies, right? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th film.
Ninth and final is what he said, is it? Or
No,
no?
he's
No,
doing
just
10.
He wants to do exactly.
Oh, he wants to go 10.
He wants to do the 1-0 and finish.
I respect that. All right, so okay, but that's come out this week.
We're not talking about it though.
We're not. There's no
seen
spoilers on it. There's none.
And if anyone mentions anything about it, I will kick him through the window.
What we are going to be talking about though is
Well.
Here we go.
No spoilers.
No
If you
spoilers,
mention
Ricki.
anything about narrative, Ricky, I'm right next to you.
I know.
I'm gonna you cop a slap.
Can I talk about the poster real quick?
What
'Cause I
about-
actually
Yeah.
really liked the poster.
Yeah.
I really, really did.
It's real old school.
Well, that's
It's old school, but I also got kind of a GTA 5 vibe. out of it.
Yeah, especially with how they designed
well,
Brad
it's
Pitt
the
on
old-
it.
It's that
No,
Vice.
I'm talking about the one
It's
that's
that
just
Vice-
Leonardo DiCaprio on it.
It's a mix between a Vice style with that old golden era from 1967. So that's what the blend kind of was. Because like Tarantino, he's always going to harpen back to what he loves, and he really loves that 1950s film. But he loves also to give it his own flair. And what's the best kind of flair?
Oh my god, your phone's blowing up
I know,
right now,
sorry.
Lucky. You
What-
talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood right now? What are you doing, mate?
But what's all like the greatest sense of flair is obviously Miami Vice.
Yeah.
So like, I guess it's probably a good mixture for him.
What
when
is the
it comes
movie
to-
about? I actually don't know. We can talk about what it's about, right?
I don't know. Lockie's
No, because I feel like you don't watch a
I don't
movie.
wanna know.
Okay, it's not one of those
I'm going
films
to go
where
see
it's-
it anyway. It's an auteur film. I'm going to go see it anyway.
But are you going to see it
okay,
because it's
I mean,
just
you like. Okay, I will give you. Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah.
Okay, I will give you as much that the trailer has given.
they're actors, isn't that? They're playing actors.
Well, okay,
Like-
Leonardo DiCaprio is an actor. Brad Pitt is his stuntman. The movie is primarily about their relationship.
yeah. Okay.
And Margot Robbie,
Sharon Tate.
yeah.
Yes.
How much into the Sharon Tate story do we go?
I would
How much
say.
is it linked to real life?
I would say not as much as people would hope. A lot of people heard that when he announced this movie, Tarantino. A lot of people heard was like Tarantino, Sharon Tate, Manson family.
Yeah, so they thought, oh, he's going to do a Charles Manson movie.
You need to go into this movie
That's what I was hearing.
and take that out of your head.
Yeah. Focus
It
on
is-
Leo and Brad.
It is Leo and Brad's movie. Obviously, the fact that they exist in this time period, they are going to run into elements, like real elements from that, because these are two fictional characters.
It's crossing stories.
It is once
essentially.
again Tarantino's revisionist history.
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
his version of
Oh,
history.
so they're not actually portraying real people. I thought
No,
they
it's
were.
the same thing he did
So,
in
but Sharon
Glorious
Tate
Bastards.
is the only one that's.
Well, there's like Sharon Tate, Roman Polanski, who she was married to at the time. Steve McQueen is in it.
I hear there's an adaptation of Bruce Lee in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is. There's an
That's
adaptation.
in the trailer, though.
Yeah, that's in the trailer.
Oh,
there's,
yeah.
There's like there are times when like okay,
His
there's
daughter's
one-
not happy with it, by the way.
there's- Yeah, they portrayed him as a bit of a dickhead,
Mm.
which I was okay with because it's Tarantino and he takes his own interpretations. Like if you watch this movie and that's the thing. Like once I heard about what she said, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I went and saw the movie. The minute I walked out of the movie, I was like, if you take anything away from this movie and try to play it off as like that's a realistic representation of anything, as with all Tarantino movies, you're not watching the movie properly.
Yeah, so it's quite clearly a satirical
Yes,
parody of you.
100%.
Yeah.
Like that's what Tarantino fucking does. Anytime he has anybody in his movies that are a real character that then interact with these fictional characters that he has created, you are going to get over the top moments. You're going to get characters that don't represent who they were in real life. You just have to. It's fiction.
Yeah, well, that's how
You
he gets
can-
around defamation suits.
You can chuck in real people to make it feel more lived in and more real. Like that's the good thing of like having Sharon Tate, Roman Polanski.
yeah.
But you
Like
don't
that-
make them the subject. You
Yeah,
just
they,
make
No,
they
exactly.
build the
They're-
environment.
they're
Like-
filler.
Bruce Lee is literally like it's that one scene where
It's almost
he-
like an Easter egg. It's like, it's Bruce Lee.
yeah.
yeah,
But
where
it adds
where,
value to the film,
where he's talking to Brad Pitt's character.
of course.
That's it. That's the only. Oh, he's in like two other scenes briefly.
yeah.
Now, speaking of Brad Pitt, this is where
This is when
I
this-
wanted to fucking talk about
Might as
this.
well move on because
Yeah.
I don't want to
All
know
right,
anymore.
This is a big claim here.
All I'll say is it is. I think it's up there with his best. Some people have
if
said
you've liked other Tarantino,
I would put this up there with like it's up there with Bastards. It's up there with
Kill Bill.
with Pulp Fiction. And
Okay.
It's up there with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's selling it for me because I didn't like Inglorious Bastards.
Really?
No, I didn't. Like
It's my second favorite.
I like
Tarantino
Pulp
film.
Fiction. I even liked Jackie Brown. Right? Not a lot of people like Jackie Brown. I like
Yeah,
Jackie Brown.
I put Jackie Brown on the
Kill
lower
Bill
end.
1 for me was pretty good. 2 was like, I feel like it suffered from
Well,
bad
it's-
sequel syndrome.
It's considered as one. It's considered as one film, so you can.
Yeah. Okay. So the second half then of Kill Bill was not as great as the first half. Right. I really liked the first half. Second
Yeah.
half, I was like,
That-
come on, buddy, get to the
That
point.
that movie was much more about the journey than the destination.
Yeah,
Once we
for
actually
sure.
got to Bill, I was like, meh.
Same thing with Lord of the Rings. It's more about the journey than the destination.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did not like the Lord of the Rings.
John, I'm with you on that. It's such an unpopular opinion, but I cannot sit through the entire Lord of the Rings saga.
I did it.
I do it like every 6 months.
I know.
You
But
got to
did it
do
once.
it once every 5 years, or Sauron.
Sauron?
Sauron?
Sauron will win.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
No, I like Sauron. Is that
Jesus.
so? If we did like a cyberpunk version of Lord of the Rings, Sauron, we have to go. We have to go and destroy the one USB stick of Mordor.
You just hear you get to Mordor, you just hear dubstep.
A little bit of Melbourne bounce in the back.
It's Sauron. Nah.
All the orcs
But,
are got glow sticks.
Getting back
All
to
the orcs are lads.
Brad Pitt.
Yes.
He's been snubbed by the Academy for
Yeah,
years.
because Ricki reckons that Brad
I
Pitt's
think-
taken home the Oscar for
I
this.
think he's got the Oscar. I'm not too sure. Because when I went to this movie, like I'm thinking, okay, he's going to go be sporting actor. It's
I was going to say, yeah, he would have been
it's
supporting
Leo.
because Leo's first build on this
I'm
bitch.
trying to think.
Is
in
it
my
a
head?
case of dual main narratives? Like,
Yeah, like
It might be
there
a
is-
hate kind of.
Yeah.
There is one point in this movie, and this isn't a spoiler, don't worry, but there is one point in this movie where we have an extended, it's probably the whole second act, where we have an extended sequence where we are going back and forth between just a day in the life of Leo and then a day in the life of Brad Pitt.
Okay, so you're
And
arguing. Yeah, all right.
They're happening at the same time, and we get probably equal, if not more, screen time with Brad Pitt during that second act. And I was kind of like going through this movie, and just like, man, Brad Pitt's getting a lot of screen time.
Well, how do they define the scope again? Because I think we discussed it a couple episodes
It's some weird combination. It's billing, it's total screen time, it's like lines of dialogue.
But I thought the main thing was that if the narrative is there, so if that character is the narrative and it follows their journey,
Yeah.
and that's how they've defined it, and that's why sometimes movies have two lead actors.
Well,
because
I think
there's
that has to be
two-
the case here because their stories are so intertwined because they are like they're friends, and Brad Pitt works for Leonardo DiCaprio because he's his stuntman. So everything that happens to one, except for this like middle bit where they sort of you're seeing like Leo's day on set, and then Brad is off doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
That's the only time they're kind of separate for this movie. Everything else, first act and then third act, they are together the entire time. So
In Fight Club,
yes,
was Edward Norton the lead and
Edward
Brad
Norton-
Pitt support?
Edward Norton was the lead.
Yeah, he got the top.
He's the
billing.
narrator.
Yeah.
So he's top billing.
On the
Okay, but take out billing.
in the credits, it was
Wasn't it done in ascending order of showing though?
oh yeah, end credits.
yeah,
I
which
fucking
still
hate
meant that Edward Norton got top billing.
But well, because Ed Norton was first.
Yeah, but
one
then
on
so
screen,
did
but the
man
way
number
they-
two who
But the
walked
way
past
they
on the street.
the way
like-
they did end credits, I think it was who by
Yeah, it was like
by
in appearing order.
by chronological order.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure on the Blu-ray box, I think Ed Norton's above Brad Pitt.
Also,
I
in
can't
the
remember.
opening,
Yeah, but in this-
like in the opening credits for Fight Club, Ed Norton gets first name.
Yeah, first.
out-
Yeah,
out-
first.
Yeah.
Right, but with this film, I'm sure DiCaprio will be billed over Brad Pitt.
No,
No, Brad Pitt billed over DiCaprio.
No, I can't remember what the end credits was, but the opening credits of this, their names appear at exactly the same time.
No. Well, there you go.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's a
Still
solid
billing
part from
me.
that.
So to me, that means I think
These
if
two
he's
share.
going to be nominated, it is going to be for lead actor.
Do you reckon they'll both get it? Both get the nom.
Honestly,
If they were
Does DiCaprio
smart-
have that much of a performance at all? Or
he does have like. There was definitely like an Oscar scene.
yeah,
in that
like
movie.
classic Leo Oscar scene where
Yes.
he's like struggling and he cries a little bit.
Yeah, well, that was the best bit because it was the scene was him while portraying another character.
Yeah, and it's
But
in
it
his
was like-
trailer. It's kind of in a
No. It's the if you've seen
I've
the
seen the
trailer,
trailer.
it's the one where like the girl goes up to him like
Yeah.
that was the best acting.
And he
I've
starts
ever
crying?
Yeah, he's like Rick fucking Dalton, but it's the scene preceding that.
True.
That is like that is clearly like we're submitting this to the Academy for Oscar consideration. I can think of Brad Pitt's and it's fucking brilliant. So I honestly see Tarantino being like, I want both these guys to be nominated. If one of them does end up getting the nomination, great. If both of them do, even fucking better.
What a rub for the film if they both get nommed.
Dude.
Do you reckon there's a potential for the
Huge.
Academy to go, you know what? Let's break some rules here. Co-winners.
I said this in my review that I did on Friday. This is the kind of movie that Hollywood loves.
Oh, is it a
It's-
classic
because-
Oscar bait film?
No, it's not a classic.
It's not
Oscar.
that. It's just they're
It's a
talking
movie
about
about-
it's like they're talking about us.
Oh yeah, they're talking
Yeah.
about Hollywood.
Look at what we did over the years.
Yeah.
Look how good we are.
They love a movie about
Movies.
Yeah, or about like the industry. And this one has
That's
a
why
lot of
biopics have been taking it for years.
biopics. Yeah, like it's very much like a lot of inside terminology, winks and nudges to people that work in production on movies and stuff like that. Like there is an element to it of like, this is going to feel foreign to you, but I know what I'm talking about, and the people on the Academy know what I'm talking about. So if the audience is
Bit of
somewhat
inside
lost,
baseball.
yeah, exactly. If the audience is somewhat lost, sucks for them, but for the people that know this industry, have worked in this industry, they're going to get everything. And that's why I think it's going to be real hard to come up against it come Oscar season.
So just to summarize that in one sentence, what you're saying is Hollywood loves a good circle jerk.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
100%.
Just to jack themselves off. They love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the key thing is, you're saying Brad Pitt's going to walk away with this Oscar.
I think,
and it would be his first if he does.
Yeah, I think at this point, Leo's got his. Enjoy
Yeah.
it, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing. Leo got stiffed for a long
Dude,
time.
well, we want to talk Oscar snubs. Fucking
Well, okay.
starters.
But what I'm saying is now we're putting two actors in who were both stiffed by the Oscars for very long
yeah, but
time.
Leo's got his rub now.
So
Leo's
Leo's
probably...
got, but that's what I'm saying. But now Leo's got a taste. You know what I mean? It's like you get your first one.
I
free
feel
and then
like
you gotta go and
if
pay
he
for it.
won, if he won it for this one, I feel like he'd be like, "Well, I worked so hard for the Revenant. They're
Yeah.
just giving me them now."
Do you reckon...
Because I feel like he
I-
went so method. He went so method for the Revenant,
Do you reckon
and I
it was-
feel like the Oscars were just like, "Oh, he worked so hard for it. We should give it."
Oh,
to him.
because he hasn't been working hard for the past 15
This is
years.
what
the
I'm
man
saying,
should have
it's
won
like-
it for Inception.
I know, but
No.
like, no.
No.
Or
No.
at least... Okay, you know what? Unpopular
Why?
opinion.
Because he was in a good film, he should
No.
get a nom.
No. He should have totally have actually taken it for What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
True.
IMO.
True.
It might, like, it's a low-key unpopular opinion because he was so young.
No,
and he would be the
was-
youngest, though, if he would have won that.
He wouldn't. Someone else younger won.
What was the
But-
one where it was like he played an IRA agent?
Oh, dude, what? Not Departed.
No.
No, he should have won it.
Do you know
the
what I'm talking
Aviator?
about?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the movie, but
I'm
no,
thinking of Brad
Catch
Pitt.
Me-
Sorry.
Catch Me If You Can.
I think
Fuck, that movie is so
I
good.
think he should have won it
Talk
for
about
The Departed.
Yeah, should have won it for The Departed.
That is my opinion because that year was pretty Oscar light for acting.
Did Jack
honest-
Nicholson get...
He
Jack
should have
Nicholson
got a
won that, right?
nom
I'm
for
not
Blood,
retarded.
for Blood Diamond. He should have got nominated.
Whatever.
Yeah.
South African accents are hard. He did a really good one.
He
Yeah,
did.
and Americans can't do accents to save their lives.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
the fact that he was able to pull one off that was convincing at all
Fair.
should
Yeah.
have been a clean sweep at the awards.
Do you think...
Out of all, the Titanic would have been the easiest Beatty one.
Yeah, Titanic would have been the one
Yeah,
that's
but
like,
his-
here's my
His-
Oscar performance.
His performance wasn't good in
No. Be like his performance in
But the movie
Romeo,
pandered to
Romeo
it,
and
though,
Juliet
like, I
was
know.
better. Like,
that.
Had he had not won the Oscar for The Revenant, do you reckon he would have totally gone into this movie and been like, I'm going to outshine you, Brad
Actually,
Pitt?
you know
I
what?
don't reckon.
Whereas
I reckon
now
he
that he
would've
has
quit-
the Oscar-
I reckon he would have quit acting if he didn't win it. Man.
No.
The movie he should have
Dude.
won it for, it would have been a supporting role, not a lead role, but it should have been Django Unchained.
Really?
Well,
Yes.
dude, he
Yes, I
he
agree.
acted
Yeah.
through a broken
Fucking-
hand.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Performance.
Oh, fair enough.
But just like he's in that movie for like only basically the last, not even the last
40,
half, last
45
third,
minutes.
and he steals. The
And he,
fucking
yeah, he
show.
takes
does.
the
He
screen.
is
yeah.
just magnetic that entire movie.
Look, I would say
Like,
Samuel Jackson holds that kind of that scene, those scenes when we get to the back end when we're on the farm.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like his presence on screen
Yeah.
is just as heavy.
But
as
just
Leo's.
the dinner scene
No, I know,
at the end of Django is
yeah,
just it's him on fucking like just like, all right, I'm gonna fucking pull out my big dick acting shit
Yeah.
right now and
When he
just,
turns it on, he turns it on.
just kill it, and he did. It was fucking incredible.
Well, that's
the
what I
only
like
time
about
you really
you could-
saw it again was when he was on screen with Tom Hardy in The Revenant, and when they were doing the brawl scene when he's
yeah.
and then you feel all the emotion, even that, or when he has to kill, is it a horse?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
when
climb
he,
inside
you can-
it.
yeah, he climbs inside the
Yep.
horse. You can tell that's all Leo, and he's giving it.
You can tell when an actor phones it in, though, because I like to use the example of Jake Gyllenhaal in the recent Spider-Man movie. Like,
Okay.
he is a phenomenal actor in movies that he really tries
That's a
in.
paycheck. Like
Yeah, for
Michael
him, but in
Caine
Spider-Man-
has been the staple of doing that for.
You watch him in
since the
Spider-Man, and he puts on a
beginning.
good performance, which for him, you can just tell he's just cruising, though. Like,
Yeah.
for him, it's
No,
just
I know.
like, he rocks up, filming starts at 9 o'clock that day, he's there at 8:55, right? Like,
No.
it's that easy for him.
I reckon. No,
in Spider-Man.
Jake seems like a very diligent.
No, I'm not saying that he's
Worker.
not diligent, but what I'm getting at is it's just because of how
Because it's
easy
so
that
ingrained.
performance, how easy that performance would
No,
have been for
because
him.
he's been saying to the media that he's been dodging superhero roles for years because he's never really connected with it. I think he wanted to do this one because it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Also, Jake hadn't done a movie in a while, and he needed the.
Yeah, he needed a bit of a rub there.
The Nightcrawler money was running out.
That's what I mean. I think his agent was like, "Hey, listen, buddy, like,
he
you
did,
need some cash." Also, in my opinion, Jake Gyllenhaal's
Velvet
best
Buzzsaw.
performance is End of Watch. Straight up.
What?
Yep.
No. Okay,
Yep.
now we're going back to Oscar snubs. Jake Gyllenhaal not winning for Nightcrawler / not even being nominated.
Yeah,
Crime.
that was bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
Edward Norton
And Zodiac.
not winning for fucking American History X. Crime. Crime on fucking cinema.
Real hard to give an Oscar to a white supremacist.
Yeah.
But the performance from Edward Norton in that
And it is
film.
it is the redemption story and all that's crap as well. Like it
But it's so tainted.
That's the greatest
with
Oscar.
So much
yeah, I know.
etchy content.
I just can't see them giving an Oscar to any movie that has a curb stomping scene.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just-
like you're never gonna
Not to the
you're
film?
You're never gonna see Romper Stomper win a Logie.
Yeah.
Like it's just not gonna.
Well,
happen.
maybe that because you know what, American History
Stomp
X,
should.
it wasn't even nominated for Best Picture as well.
Yeah, that's a bit-
Now that's I get what you're saying. Why would they pander to like some white supremacists?
But like at the same time, it's like you've got to understand art is art. And like, have you? Like, I don't want to get into it too much, but have you seen that the Hunt, the movie, got pulled after the two mass shootings in the States?
No.
Okay. Quick premises, and we'll get back to what we're talking about. Quick premise, sorry. The movie is about, and it's real dumb, it's about liberal elites hunting conservatives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of the opposite of The Purge, which was
Yeah.
like, conservative elites hunting liberal, people down on their luck. Anyway, the trailer came out like the day before the double mass shooting. And then Trump got involved and he was like, I don't like this. I want to pull it. And then the movie, I think it was New Line Cinema or whoever came out and said, all right, we're going to pull it. It's not the right time. I understand them pulling it and being like, probably not the best time to release a movie about hunting people down. Fair enough. But the fact that like Trump got involved was a bit ridiculous. But like the fact that it's in this movie, like, and obviously no one who has said anything about it has seen it yet because it's not out yet. But in this movie, it's a tongue-in-cheek version, like sort of flip-flop of like The Purge, where the conservative downtrodden is the good guy, not the bad guy. So I'm just like, well, that's just fucking...
Wait, is it kind of in the flavor of like the scary movies where it's like it's a send-up of horror movies?
A little bit, yeah.
And this
but
is
it's
like a send-up of The Purge. Sort of
yeah.
thing?
I think it has its own merit, but at the same time, I think the filmmakers went into it with like that intent of being like, okay,
Yeah, right.
for so long we have had all these movies where you have like these conservative elite at the top and like the liberal downtrodden person at the bottom.
Yeah.
And there's something like a Purge or a Hunt or whatever.
Yeah.
And to actually have that narrative flipped for like, I think the first time in cinema, because like you never see liberal elites at the top of any sort of pile in cinema.
No.
The Hunger Games is another example.
Yeah.
Excellent series of
So
films.
okay, but it's kind of going for more of like, let's say, a Hunger Games type tone or the Purge type tone, not a scary movie type tone. Like it doesn't have a comedic slant.
It doesn't have a comedic slant, but it's
Right.
like it's just the way they've written it and the way like from what I've read,
Yeah.
it was just do this movie, but we're just going to sort of like tongue in cheek flip it so that it's the liberals hunting down the conservatives.
Yeah. But do it legit.
Yeah, do it legit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we know like the audience going into this is going to be like, this is the opposite to how most of these movies are framed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting kind of like way to go about it. But yeah, like it got pulled and there's no word of it actually coming back yet. So,
How does that lead with Oscar snubs?
Oh no, how do we?
How do we
do you
get
reckon that
here?
would have been up for an Oscar? Like,
How did we get
we
here?
were talking about something else and I got onto that.
Yeah,
something else.
how did we get
I
here?
can't remember.
well, I'm currently staring at a
God
list.
damn it, Ricky.
A list
Anyway.
of the worst
Anyway.
Oscar snubs of all time.
Okay.
And
Okay.
what the fuck? Shawshank Redemption lost. Now,
Yeah.
94 was a fucking year.
Okay, Forrest Gump won that year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, I hate that movie.
You hate Forrest Gump or you hate Shawshank Redemption?
No, I fucking hate Forrest Gump.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I don't hate Forrest Gump,
You just don't.
but I think honestly, I don't.
Everyone
hard to
looks back
say.
on it with rose-tinted fucking glasses. Watch it now. It is just...
Yeah, I watched it a fucking couple of months ago and it
I
still
just-
holds the fuck up.
I can't watch it now. It's
What's wrong
just,
with it?
It's too fucking bubblegum, man. Like, it's just...
There is
oh my
still
God,
one-
He met the
Oh,
Beatles
like
and he
okay,
met
yeah,
the
it's obviously
fucking,
such a
like,
fantastical tale,
Yeah, no,
like
it's-
like that happens,
it's
right? But
ridiculous, man. And like,
To
I
be
don't
fair
like
though,
it.
going between like 95 to 2005, that was like the Hanks era. So
Yeah.
where Tom
Yeah, dude.
Hanks was in everything.
Not to mention, let's consider like the film itself, and we go. It's a very like Americans really like to put on
An
the
underdog
schmaltz.
story or
like they when they go into like, oh, it's a sweet story. They put it on where it's like
Yeah.
you're positive you're going to lose a leg from diabetes just watching the movie, right? Like Americans don't know how to like do subtlety. So when they do like sweet stories, they go hard, right? And they just drown you in fucking
That's
sweetness.
what, like,
And
one
that's
good
what- and that's
deed
what
isn't
Forrest
enough.
Gump is. Forrest Gump is sweet story on top of sweet story on top of sweet story.
He can't
Right.
just do one good thing. He has to do lots and lots and lots of good things.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and then they have to really grind it into your face. This is a sweet story.
Yeah.
Cry at this movie.
I don't know. If I'm going to cry during a fucking Tom Hanks movie, I'm going to watch Philadelphia instead.
What about Saving Private Ryan?
Saving Private Ryan's fucking incredible.
It's got
Yeah.
one of
That
the,
didn't win an Oscar either. It's number one on this list.
It's got-
99?
99
Yeah.
lost to Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, so that's trash.
That's what the
That's-
fuck was that
That's
year?
a snub.
That is absolutely
That's a
trash.
snub.
Well, hang on, what-
Goodfellas didn't win either. FYI.
Yeah, Goodfellas didn't win.
Look, Goodfellas didn't get a good release when
What?
it first.
What beat Goodfellas?
Fucking
It'd be
Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, it'd be some.
This
period
list
piece.
is pissing me off.
Okay, that movie is basically the story of Avatar. And
Is there a movie you haven't seen, Ricky? Like, I feel like I
there's
could just
plen-
name
there's-
anything
there's
and you'd
plenty
just
of
be like,
movies
oh,
that-
yeah,
there's
oh,
pl-
yeah.
Even movies I haven't seen. I
Everyone's
know
got
the premise
holes,
of
man.
them
You
and shit.
can't. Not everyone
Yeah.
has. You can't have seen everything. There's too much.
No, there's even some like fucking Scorsese movies I haven't seen, surprisingly. But yeah, Dances with Wolves was very much, it was Avatar, because it was like dude goes into Native American thing, becomes friends with him, fights the white man. And at the time it was like, yay, let's clap for that and then give it an award.
Yeah. So
You know-
much like Avatar.
Exactly. Exactly like fucking
Whereas
Avatar. It's just
Scorsese,
Because it was
cycles.
such a
It's
cinematic
cycles.
masterpiece and like CGI and like just anything. It was like, yeah, all right.
it got
Yeah,
fucking
okay.
what, 11 Oscars or some bullshit?
Well, Avatar.
Yeah.
Do you not think it deserves it though?
No.
Like, think about the vacuum of that time. We've had this debate before. I don't know if we've ever had it on fucking air though. Avatar deserved the Oscar because it's not fair to look back
Avatar:
in
The Last
retrospect now.
Airbender should get all the Emmys. Avatar should not receive any Oscars. Period.
Look, I like James Cameron. I like his early work. I know that makes me sound like a fucking
He's too in
hipster,
love with
but
his world.
He is.
James Cameron sets the bar.
Come on now.
So let's say Brad Pitt pits up the best actor nom.
Yes.
Or best actor Oscar.
reel it back
rather.
in.
Yeah, reel it back. Just finish off this topic.
Yeah.
Let's say he picks that up.
Yep.
Who is left on that slate of hasn't got an
Toni
Oscar
Collette.
to their name? Who will be the best person to probably end up if they all were to retire after this? Who would be the best person to end with no Oscars?
With no Oscars.
I throw in Jake Gyllenhaal. Edward Norton hasn't got one either, actually.
Because Ed Norton will never get one. He's an arsehole.
No, he's done now. He's
Norton.
done now.
Ed Norton.
I think he should have won an Oscar.
He should have
about 20 times.
But they will never give
Yeah.
it to him.
No, I know.
Everyone
He's the
hates
Leo
him.
of his time.
No, he's worse than Leo. Leo's actually a nice
should've
person
won-
to talk to.
Oh, we're talking about okay. There's a difference between separating him as a cunt and human in real life, and then what he does on the screen.
not when it comes
Not when
to
it comes to
awards.
politics. The politics come into play so much.
Exactly.
Dave.
That's the politics of the awards play so hard. Like, is it the Oscars or is it the
It's
Academy?
more- it's
Which
more-
one's the one where you got to bribe the judges to get the award?
The Hollywood Foreign Press, which
Yeah.
is the Golden Globes.
Golden Globe.
Yes.
Sorry, that's what I mean. Like that's and that's an open secret. Like
They-
if you
they
want a
take-
Golden
Yeah,
Globe,
okay.
you got to pay for it.
You take him out to lunch, you wine
Yeah.
and dine him, you give him like, fucking...
You give them hookers.
Well, that's
and
why the
blow.
Golden Globe means fuck all.
I know,
right? Like
it
this-
does. But usually it's a...
They're trying to get a bit more respect
Because
to
because it comes out of...
to the
Like, they do
year.
the Golden Globes about a month before the Oscars. It's usually a good...
It's a good idea of
it's
who's
a
gonna
good, like
win,
what,
yeah.
what we may be seeing in a month's time to who's going to win the Academy.
But these days, the Oscar doesn't have as much sway, I feel like, in the public as much. I think people are
It
starting to lean
it
away.
still leads to a bigger paycheck when you sign your next movie.
Yeah, no,
So
for
if,
sure.
if you win an Oscar, your next movie, you can be like, I won an Oscar. I want...
Yeah.
Because they get to put Academy Award winner on top of your name.
At the
when
end of the
they-
day, the Oscars can mean fuck all. They'll still be the Oscars,
I'm
right?
not the biggest fan of it.
yeah.
It's an institution that was established by
Yeah.
Hollywood.
White
It's
men.
fine. That's it.
It's still run by white men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So until this point, it's going to be a thing.
Will Smith is another one who probably will end up with
I
great
still
actor,
say-
no Oscar.
No, Toni Collette for me, her performance in Hereditary was crazy, and it's like I've not seen anything that's been that like just shocking since.
Yeah, fair.
It still gives me nightmares. I saw the film last year. I didn't see it on release, but I was literally like, how did she not win? Like
Yeah.
some of the stuff that she was doing was actually mesmerizingly creepy.
By the way, did speaking of those, did Emma Stone get an award for La La Land?
Yeah,
I think she got nom. Did she win it though?
Yeah,
She won
Did
it.
she win it?
I think she is.
No, she didn't. No, she won it. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the start of Zombieland, the second one, it's got like Academy Award winner Woody Harrelson, Academy Award nominee.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Wait, what the fuck did Woody Harrelson win for?
He's a good actor.
No, I'm not
Shit,
stiffing
what
him.
did
I'm
he
just
win
wondering
for?
what he won
It
for.
wasn't Natural Born Killers, was it?
No.
Oh, come on, movie boys.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Maybe he
Woody?
said nominee.
I think it might be.
I know he's definitely a nominee. I can't remember if he's
I
one.
can't remember what it was.
It's so hard because like every year it's just like you just get a wave of like these are all the nominees and you remember all of them and you can't remember who won the previous year. It's ridiculous. I couldn't name who won last year, like best actor.
Last year it was fucking
Sam
Rami.
Rockwell.
Rami Malek won the best actor.
Rami Malek won it this year. Sam Rockwell won it the year before.
Oh, the week before.
What did Sam Rockwell win for?
3 billboards.
Was that supporting or lead? It was supporting.
Oh,
Well, there was
supporting.
fucking some strife over Rami Malek picking up this Oscar this year.
Yeah. Wasn't a fan of that.
Apparently, you know what? Stiff though, I don't think the Stiff is accredited, but fucking when Eddie Redmayne won for Theory of Everything, he deserved that, in my opinion. Yeah. But people have come out and been like, "What the fuck?" As if Eddie Redmayne is so young in his
got it for a
career.
Danish girl, but anyway.
It's all these fucking biopics, man.
I
Like
know.
they come out and it's like, oh, you did a pretty good job.
we
pretending
hit a
to be-
hot run, Dave, for like 5 years where all we got
Yeah.
at the Oscars was biopics.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of it.
I'm done.
They
Well,
wanted,
it's-
they wanted to
go
give
back
it
to
to
fantasy.
Michael Fassbender for the Steve Jobs movie,
that's
and
what-
it's a
that's what
shit
started-
movie.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Right?
I
Ashton
actually really
Kutcher
like it.
is the Steve Jobs, in my opinion.
Ashton Kutcher of Steve Jobs.
Do you like
Ashton Kutcher
do you
is
like
Steve
the
Jobs.
Michael one?
I like the Fassbender
Yeah,
one.
I
but-
I like Fassbender, but Ashton Kutcher's original for me, bro.
Wait, hang on. Fincher did that, yeah? No. Who did the Jobs one?
It was.
It wasn't Fincher.
Fuck,
it was,
look at these movie boys going at it.
Shit. I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember. It was,
My point was they wanted to give it to Michael Fassbender for that movie, and I'm like, he did a shit job
That's
in
bad.
that movie.
Yeah.
He kind of phoned it in, is what it felt like to me. Right? He was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to play angry aging man. Got it. I'm
Aaron
like,
Sorkin.
I'm like, you could have given this to literally anybody in the WWE and done just as good a job.
I
Right.
don't think so. And apparently it was a much more realistic interpretation of Jobs than Ashton Kutcher's was. Because apparently Jobs is just a prick. Like
yeah, he is. Jobs is a prick. There's
Yeah.
like no
in a
doubt about it.
turtleneck.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a prick in a turtleneck.
Yeah.
Right?
Describe my life.
Also, if
No,
they,
not anymore, Dave. Ah!
Also, if they want to, I'm just going to put this out there right now. If they want to do another Jobs biopic in like say 5 to 10 years,
Is Dave not wearing turtlenecks anymore?
No, it was a reference to my penis.
lol.
Come on, man. You gotta
hey,
give him some of that. It's a good one.
But if they need to do another Jobs biopic in the next 5 to 10 years, John, I want you to go for Steve Wozniacki.
yes.
Yeah.
I would
Oh
do
my
that. I love
God.
Steve
Yeah.
Wozniak. I love
Dude,
him to death.
this actually
Oh my
comes-
God,
Because
yes.
you asked me the other day, said if you could play any role from like Hollywood now, what do you reckon you could do the best? Because I reckon John could do a Steve Wozniak.
Yes.
Very
I
well.
have come to the conclusion that I would hands down kill
No,
the
this is-
genie in Aladdin.
Are you
Specifically
switched it?
Will Smith's version.
Do you know what he
Robin
first
Williams
said?
is untouched.
Do you know what he first said? He was like, I reckon I could do a better Joker.
No, I didn't say no. I didn't say I could do a
Or
better
Jared
Joker.
Leto.
I reckon I can do a on par rendition of what Jared Leto was trying to get across with his version of the Joker. Heath Ledger's is untouched, but Jared Leto's adaptation / what I believed he would have gotten across if he had more time.
Untouched as well.
Joaquin Phoenix isn't even fucking out yet.
But dude, I'm so excited to see Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I know. It looks insane.
It looks insane.
Yeah. Apparently all the buzz coming out of I think Toronto Film Festival as well. It's just like, it's
Tiff
it's
gets
fucking-
all the goods.
I know, man. I need to go to Toronto and go.
So
to
Ricki
the
would play anything Seth Rogen does, right? Like,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
you would
I
kill
would- I
Pineapple
would-
Express.
I would. Oh fuck yeah, man! I'd do that. Heartbeat. Fuck yes. No, I would do like the Seth Rogen biopic.
Dude, no, we were discussing it long ago. Jack Black plays in mine, right?
Well,
like Jack Black's got to play me in my
It's
biopic.
funny that you brought up Jack Black because I reckon I do. Well, I said to you, I do a great Dewey Finn.
Yeah, from School of Rock.
Yeah, I reckon I could do that role easy.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Hello,
I'll give you that.
I mean, if they wanted to jump the events of Stranger Things into like the early 21st, like, you could play Dustin.
Yes.
Let's fast forward 15 years.
It's like what Bill Hader's doing in the new It. I can just play older Dustin.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so fucking keen for the next It.
There's a guy I think should get an Oscar
Bill Hader.
within his career. Bill Hader.
Bill Hader is a
Oh,
cheap.
he knows
he's
his
the-
lane. There's
No.
No. Have you seen Barry?
Barry.
Yeah, his TV
Barry.
show.
Oh no.
I've been saying Barry
Yeah, his TV show where he plays a hitman who goes to Hollywood and
to become an actor.
well, no, but he's I think his hit is at an acting school and he goes there to like scope it out and then gets addicted to acting.
Because he wants to become.
Surely it's a comedy, right? Like this.
Yeah, it's a black satire.
Black
Okay,
satire,
okay.
yeah, black comedy. So it's still real fucking heavy, but
it
has
So it's like
it
that-
quenches
Yeah.
Bill Hader's need to be comedic.
Is
Yeah.
he also in that Big Nose on Netflix?
big nose.
Is that what I'm
Big
called?
Mouth.
Big Mouth. Big Mouth on Netflix.
Bill Hader.
Is that not
No,
him?
it's not Bill
No.
Hader.
That's another one that's a really
No, it's,
dark comedy right
it's
now.
Slough.
That's
It's-
Steve Kroll
Oh,
and
Steve
Oh, Steve Kroll.
Nick
Kroll.
Kroll.
Nick
Nick
Kroll.
Kroll,
Nick
sorry,
Kroll.
Nick Kroll and the oh god,
I get Nick Kroll and fucking Bill
and
Hader
then
mixed up
I
all the
can't
time.
remember his name.
How? How?
Have you guys watched the roast of James Franco?
No.
It is the greatest Comedy Central roast of all time. Because he gets guys like Seth Rogen, they fucking come on, who fucking runs it for him because it's James Franco.
Yeah, I know.
But then Bill Hader does like this clean roast where he portrays like the god of Hollywood just fucking shitting on James Franco.
Yeah,
never
right.
winning an
Okay,
Oscar.
I can live with that.
Which he probably should have won for 127.
Well, I'm gonna say, has Franco won an Oscar? I don't think so.
Well, that's Franco's one of those guys where he turns it if he turns it on, he turns it on.
fucking
But it's just
dude.
9 out of 10 times the cunt does not turn it on.
Disaster artist.
Yeah, did
to-
he not even get nominated for that? 'Cause
I don't
feel
think
like
so.
No.
Disaster Artist was like what we were talking about. That is like a Hollywood movie for Hollywood.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah,
like
but it's in a different lane. It's in a,
It's a
very
meme for the
lane.
sake of a meme.
It's a
Because it's
real-
based on a cult film that was never meant to be really made to begin with.
Yeah.
So-
Speaking of which, I learned something about that movie. Did you know Tommy Wiseau was paying $5,000 on Billboard advertising
Yeah,
the room?
he's still paying for it.
months.
What?
Not anymore. But
Well, it was
for
like for years after he was-
after the movie came out, he kept it up on a
No
billboard.
one.
This
no
guy.
One, no one knows where he got his money.
It
from.
was like importing mink coats,
leather coats and
and stuff. Apparently.
He's been getting a lot more active on Twitter recently.
He is.
I'm noticing.
Yeah, no, he's
starting to
He was
pop up
waiting
again.
he was waiting for the cycle to come back around in his favor, and he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
Like,
jump on the media
My
train now,
time
make
to
some,
shine.
make some money.
It is. He's a weird.
He's got to be the weirdest personality in all of Hollywood.
Bro, he's like straight up making like the room memes now. And I'm like, holy shit, you were like really going that extra.
He's
like,
stared into his own skin. I
that's what
respect
I mean.
it.
That's what he's doing. He's going out of it. It's great. I'm actually really curious because Tommy Wiseau is one of those people I feel like who does nothing unless he's got a grand plan. You know what I mean? Like, The Room was a complete shit show of a production, but he had his own method to his madness, right? There's no denying.
He looks at it as a great film.
He looks at it as a great. That's what I'm saying. He had a method to his madness, and there's always a method there. And I feel like him getting extra on Twitter recently, he's gearing up for something.
There's got to be another
Right.
fucking movie of his
Have
coming
you guys
soon.
seen the original? Have you seen The Room?
No. But it's
is-
one of those
So
like...
that's my kind of thing with it, that people will just go see the Disaster Artist. It's like, it's really good if you go see the film, but it's actually it's better if you go see The Room first. And then
Oh,
you
yeah,
actually
I'd imagine
understand
so.
the joke.
And you've got no excuse anymore because Tommy Wiseau put it up on YouTube for free. So
Oh,
anybody
did
can
he?
go, yeah, he
He's
did.
a fucking
You can watch The
bloke.
Room for free on
What an
YouTube.
absolute
Yeah.
lad.
Dude, he,
mate.
like,
And it's all legit,
satirizes the
legal,
dress.
no
It's
piracy,
funny
no, it's like
as.
Tommy did it, So yeah.
Lisa!
Franco won the Golden Globe for Disaster Artist, but it was in the musical or comedy category.
Huh.
So it's
Sick.
not
And it's a Golden Globe. He paid for that.
At the Golden
James
Globes,
Franco.
I
Which,
reckon
to be
the
fair,
funny,
is the most Tommy Wiseau thing you can do. So, like, I respect it.
the weirdest.
His method even after production. James Franco, hands down, greatest method actor of all time.
Yeah, 100%.
Like one of the weirdest Oscar awards they've given out for categories was they gave The Martian at the Golden Globes best comedy.
Best comedy.
What?
Yeah, right.
Wait, the one with fucking Matt Damon.
Yeah,
Matt Damon.
doing Castaway in Space.
Yeah,
Right.
but like because it was like 3 jokes, or it was like there was a couple of jokes in the movie. They gave it to a comedy.
They made a disco joke.
As in on IMDb, it will read drama, thriller, comedy.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck me.
it won the gold because like it wasn't drama enough to get into the drama category, which is the one that they nominate for the Oscars as well. Like because the Oscars don't have the musical comedy genre; it's only the Golden Globes.
Is there a criteria on what genres cannot be up for Best Picture? Because can a horror movie win Best Picture?
No.
/ has it ever been
No,
even nominated
well,
for
it's
one?
never happened. Well,
Did The Shining
no,
get
it never
nominated?
got nommed.
That's bullshit.
So
It got nom, but it didn't win. It's number 4 on this list of top 10 snubs
there you
of all
go.
time.
But that's
They would count
that's
as
like
a thriller, though.
Thriller.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like the thriller,
Hardcore, like you're never gonna see a Nightmare on Elm Street be nommed.
Well, let's say like
Yeah.
Psycho.
Okay, Psycho is
Psycho's
a
a thriller.
Thriller over what you would consider to be maybe like
Have you
a
seen
kind of
Psycho?
pseudo horror.
Have you seen it?
It's a
Yeah, but it's got like very suspenseful, like
Well, that's what a
suspenseful to the point of like
thriller-
jump scare end of it. So thriller obviously has suspense, but like where you could differentiate between that being
I
kind
don't
of
think
horror.
you've seen it, Dave.
What, Psycho?
Yeah.
I've seen it once, but fucking forever ago. But like it,
Wait, the Hitchcock
it makes
version
you
or the,
feel.
or the,
Yeah,
or
which-
the, or the Gus Van Sant shot-for-shot remake.
I didn't even know there was a remake.
With
of Psycho.
Vince Vaughn, you would love it.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn. Plays
Oh my god, Vince Vaughn's in it.
And who's
There's an actor who deserves a nom.
who gets stabbed in the shower?
It's not Kieran Knightley. Is it?
No.
Speak up if you're going to say that's not Keira Knightley, is it?
No.
No, that's why I questioned my
trying to
own
remember.
thought.
But yeah,
Dave.
it is got to be.
Now I got to look it up, don't I?
Yeah, it's got to be the weirdest fucking
Thank you, fact checker.
movie ever because it is literally shot for shot exactly like Hitchcock's. But it's
time-
fucking Gus Van Sant
Yeah.
and it's Vince Vaughn as the lead actor. It's so odd.
For something that is in such high praise as Psycho, for it
Yeah.
to just do it shot for shot
Okay.
is so weird.
So I know the story behind that. Okay, so I heard the scriptwriter talking about it, or the director, sorry, talking about it. He argued, here it is, came out in 1998. So the director argued, and this was, by the way, it was in production hell
So this
for
is
about
Gus.
15 years.
This is Gus Van Sant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 1998 version is what I'm talking about. He argued that people were doing remakes of old movies, right? And he was like,
This happened forever. Yeah.
this is stupid. Remakes suck. Like, we know what works. We literally know what works because
Yep.
Alfred Hitchcock fucking did it. He wrote the book on how to make this movie. So let's just make that movie, right? And all we do is we put it in color with with modern actors. We do nothing else to this movie, right? Because it's already perfect. And he argued for years to get this thing off the ground. And all the Hollywood producers were like, well, what are you talking? We've already got Psycho. It's called Psycho. It's like we've got it there sitting on the shelf. Why the fuck would we give you millions of dollars to make something we've already got sitting on the shelf? And he was like, no, and this, that, and the other. Like I said, you put modern actors in it. We can branch it out as a new product. And then he finally got his wish and he did it, and it fucking tanked.
Yeah.
Because for once, the Hollywood production studio people actually knew what they were talking about.
Gus has done weird projects where things
and
like
it was
that, where
Anne
he's
Hesh
like,
as Marion Crane, by the way.
there you go.
Anne Hesh. I think that I'm pronouncing right.
and
H-E-C-H-E.
and Heish.
Well, that's one of those movies that should have never been remade.
Well, that's what I'm
right?
saying. Gus has done these weird projects where he'll jump on, he'll be like, give me everything I need to make this. It's going to work, trust me. And then it bombs. But then he'll get thrown off stuff that was successful, and if he remained on it, it would be continuing to be successful, i.e. The Walking Dead. Because he originally did the first season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that Gus Van Sant?
It was Gus Van Sant who
I
did
thought
the
that was
first.
Frank Darabont.
Yeah, because Frank Darabont
Am I
took it
thinking
from
Frank
the
Darabont?
show.
I
I
at
think you're
that
thinking of
point.
Frank Darabont.
God damn it.
I find it so
I was
hard
doing
to,
so well as well.
I find
Fuck.
it so hard to differentiate those two, though, because they do very similar sort of styles.
And it's funny that we mentioned Shawshank in the beginning because that was
That wasn't
Gus
Darabont.
Van Sant.
Yeah, it was Gus Van Sant. Yeah.
I was playing a game, wasn't Gus?
Well, he also did the Mist too, didn't he,
You got
Darabont?
there for a minute, didn't
Man,
you?
I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What? It's like, you
Look,
know
they're,
this.
they're very similar kind of guys, and they do. What are some more subs? Come on, hit me up.
Look, you want more stuff?
Yeah. Because
Oh my
I've
god.
got
Give
a
us a
few-
couple more because we got to wrap up.
Okay,
I've got a
well,
few on my mind.
Citizen
This is-
Kane didn't win Best Picture.
Yeah, look, who gives a fuck about that?
We all know The Dark Knight should have won, but that didn't win. Slumdog Millionaire took that. Pandering to the Oscars. This is how tough 94 was. Pulp Fiction didn't win it.
Yeah, I know.
Pulp Fiction as well that fucking year.
Was that?
We
yeah,
got
Forrest
Leo
Gump.
here, but apparently the highest ranking Leo film that should have won but didn't win was The Aviator. I think that's stupid.
I don't
rate
that.
him in The
Can you-
Aviator.
Catch me when you can. I find
Yeah,
it
if we're
going
to do a film where Leo should have won for portraying a pilot of some kind, it should have been Catch Me If You Can.
I think
right?
retroactively, Catch Me If You Can is one of Tom Hanks' best movies as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
Tom
the
Hanks
best
was on a
supporting
fucking
role.
tear at that time.
No, he
Yeah.
was. It was. I really.
It's the Tom era.
That was.
Yeah.
Okay. That was maybe the last Steven Spielberg movie I truly enjoyed. On a
You hate Ready Player One?
I didn't hate it, but it just didn't feel.
It didn't feel like it.
Like it felt
Didn't
like
quench your
it
thirst.
honestly felt like Abrams trying to do Spielberg again.
Yeah, that's
but
fair
it's,
enough.
But it's just watered down Spielberg.
Yeah,
which hurt my soul.
You know what? I take back everything I said just before about Eddie Redmayne winning that Theory of Everything Oscar, because that was the exact same year that Jake Gyllenhaal should have won for Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
That year
What
was
the
hard.
fuck?
that
year
was
super
2014.
hard.
Yeah,
I thought
Yeah,
Nightcrawler came out earlier than that.
Spotlight was a strong year.
2014 was a ridiculous year. It was,
What is the
Whiplash-
hardest year? Because we got 94,
Dude, 20
2000 was tough
Dude,
as well.
Dude, 2014 was
Birdman.
Birdman, Whiplash, Nightcrawler, Spotlight. Nightcrawler didn't give it fucking nominated that year, which is ridiculous. But
Well,
like
Jake Gyllenhaal didn't even get nominated for Best Actor.
Even
No, I know.
Hunt for the Wilder People
What
came
the
out that year.
fuck?
ridiculous.
What
But
the fuck?
2014 was like the last really, really great year.
And
for
then we
like,
had
cinema.
we had some
Spotlight come out
dead
in
space.
2014? I thought it came out later. Did
I
it?
think
It would have won. Did it win that year?
No, because
2014 went
No.
to Theory of Everything.
Wait, 20. No, you sure?
Oh, for Best Movie or Actor?
Best movie.
Oh, didn't fucking
Birdman.
the Hotel something?
No, Birdman won that year.
Birdman.
Yeah.
Birdman.
Birdman and the what was the fucking the really long title it had?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Unconscious Mind or something, something,
whatever
something.
it is. Yeah, but I think Birdman won that year.
Whiplash deserves some respect, though.
Whiplash.
All right.
Hang on. You know
It was like
who?
the winning
Fucking
of the
J.K.
Unconscious
Simmons.
I was
Mind.
gonna say, has J.K. Simmons ever won an Oscar?
No, but
For
has he not?
Whiplash, he should have.
He should pick up an honorary reward for fucking his portrayal of John Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
All right,
Fucking
fucking
I'm
and
gonna see
all
if-
Spider-Man things he's ever done.
I'm gonna see if he's
All
ever
the
won.
Sam Raimi stuff, like
Because
Dude, no, he is committed to that role so much. Like, that is him. I cannot imagine another J.J. Jameson other than being J.K. Simmons. It is written for him.
okay, apparently he has won an Academy Award.
He hasn't. But if he were,
Has he
he
won
was
he's won a
nominated though,
Golden
wasn't he? He was
Globe, though.
nominated.
Says
for
right
Whiplash.
here he has
he won a
won.
BAFTA.
He's won an Academy Award.
Oh, well, fuck me. Well, fair enough.
Give me because he would be a great like
He's an
pick,
excellent
pick
actor.
for like someone who's never.
Well, he's an actor's actor as well.
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Well, because
Critics'
I think to
choice.
finish off that discussion and to wrap up the podcast, someone like, obviously we said
Oh.
Jake Gyllenhaal would probably, if Brad Pitt were to win this one, Jake Gyllenhaal's up there as well for someone. Will Smith, like that guy was on a tear from like mid 2000 to like early 2010s.
Yeah.
Like Pursuit of Happiness, fucking 7 pounds.
I'm actually surprised he didn't win anything for £7.
£7 pounds.
That for me feels like a movie that's
Yeah.
like built for awards.
Did you see Concussion though?
Concussion. He was
Concussion?
nommed but didn't win.
Fucking
Awful.
brilliant in Concussion.
No,
I like
his
Concussion.
performance in Concussion was. He didn't. He
It
got
was
nommed
so
for Ali.
baiting.
Didn't win Ali. Malcolm X. No, that
Ali
was
come
that was
that Will Smith? No.
that was fucking Denzel Washington,
Was
which
the-
I'm pretty sure he picked up that one for.
Yeah.
Denzel's another.
Denzel
incredible-
deserves every Oscar he's ever
Yeah,
gotten.
Denzel has not put up a bad fucking flick.
Denzel fucking
Aside
kills
from the Book of Eli, whatever it was.
I didn't.
I
mind
like
that.
the Book of
Oh,
That movie.
I didn't
movie
mind
was
that
trash.
movie, man.
That movie was trash,
He cut some
man.
guy's hand off. It was
I
good.
didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
He should have.
It was a
alright.
real dumb movie with a real dumb twist.
Remember the
Yeah.
Titans?
It was just the Bible, yeah.
Okay, so he won. Okay, so sorry, J.K.
Yeah.
Simmons won Best Supporting for Whiplash.
Oh, so okay. Well, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
God damn it.
No, well, yeah. Come on, think of anyone else that year who deserved that.
For Best Supporting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because the narrative was Miles Teller's now, whatever his name
Ed
is.
Norton in Birdman was pretty good, but he was playing an arsehole, which is what he does.
Well, which I guess
Yeah.
it's him. Well, fair
so
enough.
Is it really acting or is he just himself?
Yeah, exactly.
But he was great in that. I think did
Well,
Emma
2014
Stone win her Oscar for like supporting in Birdman, or was it La La
It was
Land?
La La Land.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
She won main for Nala.
Which is
Yeah,
interesting
she was-
because
she was
do you
lead
know
actress,
do you know Damien Chazelle wanted to do La La Land first
And then do Whiplash?
do Whiplash.
That makes sense. The dude loves jazz.
I know.
Which, by the way, La La Land, like Emma Stone fucking deserved it. Like, I watched that movie and I'm like, holy shit, she is blowing me away with
Look,
her. What let her down though? Honestly, what let her down a lot was Ryan Gosling.
Really?
thought he
I
wasn't-
don't
he
think
wasn't-
Ryan Gosling
He
is that
was
good of an
not
actor.
pulling either A, he wasn't pulling his weight,
I love
or
the
B,
Gos.
Emma Stone was just shitting all over him. Right? Either way, it wasn't a good pairing. And with that, I think we'll wrap it up there. We'll leave it on that bombshell.
Welcome to thanks for joining us on the movie podcast.
Yeah, thank you for
today.
joining us on the movie podcast.
Well, this is the brilliance
where
of
we,
Pint Party.
where we drink
feel
beers and talk
Bad
about
man,
movies.
how dare you talk about the Goz like that? The Goz is gold.
Yeah.
Man,
Party can do anything.
Crazy Stupid Love is brilliant.
Nice
Yeah.
guys.
Nice guys.
No,
Sean Black.
the last
brilliant.
time he should have been nominated or won anything was for fucking Drive, and he didn't. So that's his last
I agree.
chance.
I agree.
That was
That
his
was the
last
last
and
good
only
movie.
chance.
No, well, I
All
think
right.
Place Beyond the Pine is better.
Nah, you're just naming trash films. Anyway,
Anyway, so if you like this episode, tell a friend about it. You know, we're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're wherever you want to find podcasts. I want to thank my guests today. I want to thank David, Ricki, and Lachlan for joining me today. Thank you so much
thank you.
for
No.
coming in and talking about movies for 15 years.
No wuckers.
And this,
Go check out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah, go
Please
check out
do.
Once Upon a Time.
Are you
That's
promoting
right,
for them
Paul.
now, Dave?
Yeah, we're
No,
pounding
no, no, but we're saying it's good enough to watch. We're
It's
saying
good enough.
we're
for
saying
Ricki gave it 5 stars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, we're
Which
saying
is- which
it's
is
good enough to
rare.
watch, which is kind of the point of this whole episode. Go and watch that movie. And with that, this has been Pint Party. Cheers.
Cheers.
This podcast is part of the Hartefact Podcast Network. For more of this and our other podcasts, head to hartefactstudios.com.au.